Dr. Yusho Aliyu. Now, he is a professional economist, a policy management member, and a public affairs analyst. Good morning to you, Dr. Yusho Aliyu.
Thank you. Good morning and Happy New Year in advance.
Happy New Year in advance. It's just a matter of
I have to
hours.
seize this opportunity to ring the bell for the first time.
Okay, please ring the
Please
bell.
permit me to ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Exactly.
Thank you very much.
That's right.
Thank
And
you.
that bell is rung by Dr. Yusho Aliyu right there. You could tell from the excitement. I mean, 2024 has been quite a year. Some have said that it is a year of excitement. Others do not see that as a year of excitement. In fact, they believe that 2024 has been a year of protest, counter-protest, agitation here and there and all. But yeah, overall, how would you look at 2024, Dr. Yusho Aliyu?
Yeah, it's not a smooth year for household,
Right.
economically, but it has been a great year because today, 31st, all of us are here, are listening to ourselves, and at the same time sharing views and opinion, which is very critical in shaping our ways as Nigerians and for the prospect of our country.
Right.
So that probably in the next few years the economy will be more stable, families will be more stable, and we have a good leadership that will take care of the state and take care of its own citizens.
Right, having good leadership that will take care of the state, take care of its own citizen. Well, let's start off, with just before we delve into what the economic or the high point of the economy would be for 2024, for you. Let's start off with, heartwarming news that just hit us this morning. Just this morning, we saw the president, in fact, saying what a way to end 2024 with the Warri Refinery coming aboard. I mean, the recent developments in Nigeria's oil, and gas sector, are quite noteworthy. I mean, Port Harcourt Refinery already operational, and the Warri Refinery is nearing, completion at 60%, and already is given out kerosene, is given out diesel, right? But yeah, AGF, of course. But PMS, petrol would be the next, on the line, and Nigerians are very hopeful for this consolidation. But then again, having said that there might be a consolidation in this regard, right? Nigerians are also very skeptical about it. I mean, some have called in earlier to saying that it doesn't just do at saying that, well, the Warri Refinery has come aboard and everything, that what should be the primal facet should be the fact that, hey, are we going to be able to sustain it? Can we have continuity, in this processes, right? Even though it puts a smile on our faces, but can we have that continuity? Can we be sure to beat our chest to saying that this has come to stay and that we will not hear it again, the crash landing? And then what do you think, this will be for the Nigerian economy as it stands come 2025?
Warri Refinery.
Yes.
31st of December 2024, the Eagle has landed in Warri. And since the Eagle has landed in Warri, we're expecting the Eagle to do as usual, get the big hunt.
Okay.
What I always want to share as an opinion with female listeners is that anytime you witness an advancement economically, we wish that advancement to have a better prospect.
Okay.
Warri Refinery has been existing.
Okay.
It is 125 barrels per day capacity, and it has been silent for a long period. Warri has been a center point to which many Nigerians enjoy to hear Warri, but for a very long period,
Right.
Warri was silent in Nigeria. But notwithstanding, two forces that I have to join them together economically as policy instrument to put stability to general price level in 2024. One is Dangote's refinery, the output.
Okay.
2024 brought the supplies of Dangote, the largest 650,000 capacity refinery. Now we have an additional 125 capacity at 60% completion. What I want people to understand is that competition is starting to yield results in our energy sector, especially the petroleum. In competition, you have to understand the market that is obtainable.
Okay.
Like I said, the hit and run market, which is normally known as contestable market, is a market where price seekers and price takers are rushing all the time to take benefit of a price at a particular season.
Okay.
Now the price is high. Now competition has come in. Now NNPC has joined in a competition that ought to have been earlier than now. So this competition, as we are witnessing, is going to provide a lot of comfort to teeming consumers of PMS, AGO, DPK, and other subsidiary product from this particular refinery.
Right. All right. So that being said, let's look at the fact that over the years, I mean, let's just take a brief history. Warri Refinery is located in Delta State, Nigeria, and has had a long history dating back, to 1978. I mean, when it was first commissioned. The refinery was also built to process 100,000 barrels of crude oil per day, but it was later upgraded in 1987 to handle 125,000 barrels per day. Over the years, though, the refinery has faced numerous challenges, including corruption, mismanagement, and lack of maintenance, which has led to its shutdown. However, in recent years now, the Nigerian government, has made efforts to revamp the refinery, and in 2021, we've got a contract awarded for the completion or rehabilitation of, the Warri Refinery. I mean, overhauling of the 4 state-owned refinery, including Warri Refinery. There's also been the rehabilitation project, which cost about $898 million US, and it was aimed at restoring the refinery to its full capacity to make it a major contributor to Nigeria's economy. Now, what are the implications of the Warri Refinery's rehabilitation to the economy? You already mentioned that already, and you also mentioned how it will affect the country's dependence on imported fuel. Now, one of our family members earlier on this morning had come out to saying that, look, pointing or citing Saudi Arabia as is it Dubai now in context, saying that even though Dubai started at a very primal and difficult times and all of that, and even Saudi Arabia as well, but where they are now, in terms of diversification, that we cannot equate to it. Now, I understand that recently Nigeria has been looking into science and technology, right? We've been talking agriculture, even though the tractors that were designed to come to Niger State, right, to aid the farming and bring it, to a large scale and everything, has not been delivered up until now, even though monies has been disbursed and all of that. And it takes us back, to the political will, of the Mr. President in ensuring that, some of these loopholes are being indeed sealed. What do we therefore look forward to in terms of diversification, in terms of, having the political will, having the political stance as shown in the Warri Refinery, kicking aboard and everything for 2025? Do you think that there are prospects for us in 2025 as against this year, 2024?
Odi, professionally, I'm always disturbed when we continue repeating diversification. Our economy is already diversified.
It is diversified.
It's diversified.
In what way?
Excellent. We have agriculture, we have manufacturing, we have energy, we have this, and that.
We only have them by book, Doctor.
Yeah.
But are they efficiently working?
No, that is the question. Efficiency in diversification, diversifying the economy.
I get that.
Do you understand? We always emphasize that we have to diversify. Our economy is diversified. The only thing is effectiveness and efficiency in the diversification effort. The federal government, under Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has signed an agreement with Saudi Arabia, that has a refining capacity of over 10 million barrels per day.
10 million.
10 million. And producing about 11 million barrels per day of crude oil. So when you take the leverage and you understand the efficiency, you look at the system and you look at the commitment, the Dubai you mentioned, they are not facing any democratic problems. These are emirates. These are kingship. These are people that have vision and they remain committed without democracy. Do you understand? And that and the whole world is silent about the efficiency of the system that brought about that kind of efficiency. In Nigeria, our political system was not stable, our economic system is not stable, our development plan is not stable, our politicians are not stable, even in partisanship. So, and that is what is causing all this issue of inefficiencies in whatever we are taking. And at the same time also, the Nigerians themselves are divided. Whereas you find a situation where a Nigerian is calling for an autonomy. You find a situation where a politician is canvassing for autonomy just because he wants to achieve one political target or the other.
Right.
But what is more important, significantly, as far as this issue of Nigerian prospect is that Nigeria has potentials. Being Nigeria having potentials, we have to now look at our priority. The priority we have to look is to understand that we have a very large population. This large population requires to have enough food stability. And that is why in my own research recently, I discovered that under food security index, Nigeria is 107. And that is why I want to make it more popular for anybody who believes that Nigeria is having enough food. We should go back to dream board. The arable land that Nigeria has, that should be our first diversification. We have 100, out of 100, Nigeria cannot access 10% of the total arable land to produce food. So, and that is the first challenge.
Right.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Now, we have to also applaud and then congratulate the president for even creating the livestock ministry, because we all live to have livestock either as pet or as consumables, and it is also helping economy. Most of the economies in Western world have benefited from livestock, and they are, and it is a mainstay in the economy. So in Nigeria, you go to solid mineral, you go to energy, you go to fishing, you go to any aspect of agriculture, there is potential. But let me tell you, the food security index revealed that Finland is leading. A survey was conducted in 2022. A survey was conducted in 2022 to check food security among 133 countries of the world. These 133 countries, Finland is leading. Ireland is following. Norway is the third one. France, number 4. And almighty United States is about number 9. While China, that recorded zero poverty, is number 25. But what are the parameters used to arrive at that index? The parameters were at 3 number. 1, availability of the food.
Okay.
The second is affordability of the food. The third one that has 2 branches is that quality and safety of the food. So it's not just because you and we have been shouting we have enough food. We don't have enough food, and I have said it times that number. Do you understand? Is Finland growing rice? Is Finland number 1 in producing cassava? Is Finland number 1 in producing yam? But why do they have that food security on ground? These are lessons that our policymakers and our politicians should try and investigate and find how and why. Why are we number 17? None of African states met the number 50 category. So that reveals that 1, we have food insufficiency. What are the reasons? 1, high population. 2, insecurity. 3rd, the method of production. 3rd, the input. 4th, the financial capabilities. 5th, the market structure. And you can go on and on and on. These are things that we have to understand as far as food security. But 2024 has revealed that whatever we can do to make our nation great, we can do it. If a single individual can access 19 to 20 billion dollars to put on a refinery, which after due consultations decided to put that refinery in free economic zone of our great nation, which will now be able to supply the nation the required amount and then export to neighboring countries and then bring more dollars for our foreign exchange management system. These are good things. And today, that NNPCL, Limited Liability Company, has wake up from the slumber and now decided to put the Warri Refinery, the Port Harcourt Refinery, and we are hoping the Kaduna Refinery, and we are also hoping to have a brand new refinery to be located in Kolmani located between Gombe and Bauchi State, because of the exploration that has been conducted. These are good things that will make Nigeria to be a very good investment haven in oil and gas that can supply not only West Africa region, but supply the entire Africa and part of the world.
All right, you're still listening to Eagles Outlook right here. You want to ask your questions, add your voice to this. I mean, it's the last day for 2024, December the 31st, as we are looking into 2025 in terms of economy, in terms of the very, very latest story that we've heard, the information about the Warri Refinery coming aboard and everything, and the president's given further instruction as a result of political will, and saying that or asking that the Kaduna State Refinery, comes aboard. Kaduna Refinery, I beg your pardon, comes aboard. What then will be your thoughts for 2025? Are we seeing a better 2025 that is not taking a leaf off the 2024 reality, or rather charting its own course and allowing for prosperity, sustainability, monitoring and evaluation in MDAs, in government agencies, in the private sector, and all of that, accountability and transparency? Well then, let's have your thoughts. 0907 353 0044 is that number to call. The other number is 0908 766 8888, and the WhatsApp portal number is 0909 705 4450. Still, Dr. Yushul Aliyu is right here in the studio. Overdependence on oil will make Nigeria vulnerable, and that's what Speaker Abbas says. But you have said that, look, we already diversified.
Yes, of course.
We already diverse.
Yes.
So there's no point beating about the bush and talking about whether or not we're still a mono economy and all of that. Just to allow for the driving factors, economic driving factors,
to bring out efficiencies in all
aspects of
exactly.
it. Right then. But if Abbas is saying that, it therefore means, based on this conversation, even though some would say that his position on the matter is one that is very vital, but it seems to be stale, based on the recent conversation that we just had, because we have already diversified. But then, if you look at the economy in itself, over in the period of a year, right, Doctor, we have seen Naira floating, right?
Yes.
Or we have seen fuel subsidy gone and everything. What will be your high points for 2024, and what can we learn from 2024 as we enter 2025?
I'm seeing a reform that is going to work.
Okay.
An economic reform that is going to work. What Speaker Abbas is trying to portray is that we need a reform in even the sharing formula. Okay. What makes Nigerians lazy and our politicians lazy is the fact that the oil money is being shared, and they are all expecting that money to be shared monthly. We fail to make adequate use of the resources to build other sectors of the economy. If overdependence on oil is mentioned, it is just overdependence in sharing structure as decided by Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, where the 3 tiers of government are in joint shares of what is coming out of there. But you and I knows that the economic potentials of Lagos alone without oil has been vindicated under the governorship of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was refused to access oil money, but he was able to run Lagos. So if Lagos can discover its own potential, all other states can discover their potential, including solid mineral and food production. What is wrong if other nations are having an advantage in agriculture, livestock, for instance? And livestock alone can provide a big abattoir that can distribute meat not only to Nigerian market, but it can distribute to West African market, and it can fetch a lot of dollars. Let me re-emphasize here that, look, once you are speaking about an economy, what you need to check first is to check an individual who discover his potential, an individual that refuses to discover his own potential. These are two things that are practical, and they can be seen working. Nigeria has potential, but only to discover the potential. The potential does not end in oil; it ends in all sectors of the economy. Look at the energy. No, we have been supplying electricity to Niger Republic. Now that we have decided to cut them out of it, they have discovered themselves they are supplying their energy. Wow. So it means that sometimes what is given to you is, if it is not taken away from you, you will not discover what you are. And that is exactly what Speaker Abbas is trying to say about vulnerability of Nigeria with the dependence on oil. We are greater than that. Nigeria can depend not only on Nigeria can depend on taxes, because from the revelations, the taxes generated from all the revenues minus oil is above 50 trillion. So if you have that potential of trading, why not? And that is why some of us disagree in total for closure of land borders. When it was closed, I disagree, and up to now I disagree with that we have to make food production available, because if we can't produce, we can. Who told you that theory that you cannot import? Look, go and study. The China Center of Economic Research under Professor Justin Yofu Lee has designed economic policies that are paying the Chinese economy today by putting structures of special economic zones and putting investment forums, that is the investment laboratories, where investors are investing in local produced goods, which are now international goods, are being exported from Guangzhou and other economic zones of China. Let me reiterate again, Mr. Udi. Once food security is mentioned, the first thing to do for any radical economic approach is to make sure that food is affordable to all categories of individual in society, and also has a lot of quality and safety. This is the best way to get the best out of your own citizen. Right. Let me tell you again, it's very, very important, Mr. Udi.
Yeah.
China is the largest producer of rice. I have said the times that number, but it's the largest importer of the same product. America follows, the largest producer of rice in the world and the second importer. Then who told you, when you are leading and you are importing, and you cannot even meet the metric tons requirement, and you are now putting people to be taking all their savings in life to eat, and you give them palliatives of 3 days? No palliative can last more than 30 days. So we cannot be a palliative economy and succeed in our economic plan. We have to have a situation where food is secured. If food is secured in every family, their intellectual capacity is now going to be rediscovered, because the potential will be discovered. Let me tell you, the Inkalagu, the coal industry, all this energy sector, nobody is talking about coal. Nobody is speaking about uranium. Nobody is talking about other energy sources of even solar. These are potentials that do not exist in Finland, that doesn't exist in Norway, but exists on African soil and has more predominance in Nigeria as a nation.
All right, we'll take a recess right now. Go pay some bills. We'll be right back in a short bit. It is Eagles Outlook right here on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Don't go away.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
I suppose it was inevitable.
Eagles 102.3.
Education is the major determinant of individuals' development and societal transformation. As individuals of educated societies are productive and patriotic in nation building, while uneducated societies are more prone to developmental challenges such as unemployment, insecurity, and underdevelopment, especially amongst the growing population, as available statistics in Nigeria shows that there are 20 million out-of-school children, in which about 12 million of them are in northern Nigeria, a number that is threatening the peace, security, and the social well-being of the country. Based on this assertion, the Universal Basic Education Commission UBEC is calling on Nigerians in rural and urban centers, especially parents, to always send their children to schools for them to have a qualitative education. Apart from parents, community leaders such as royal fathers, religious leaders, youth organizations, and the civil society have critical roles to play in ensuring that children are sent to school in their respective communities. It is only by so doing that we can all have educated, productive, and responsible leaders of tomorrow. Remember, education is the key to success.
This message is from UBEC. Eagles 102.3 FM. Abuja, here to stay.
My country people, who work suppose enjoy you after all the hustle. You not supposed take your comfort play to fit sleep the way it supposed be. Make you go grab your Eurofoam mattress. Make you forget your full comfort. Whether na Euro Spring, Euro Orthopedic, or semi-orthopedic, Diamond and Diamond Plus. And for Comfort Pro Max, Eurofoam don't introduce latest in town. That na Euro Elite. This one, they sleep jolly meant no get equal. Eurofoam get quality pillows and sheetings. Eurofoam shop yakpa everywhere for Bodo Nigeria. Eurofoam, sleep the way it's supposed.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
The management of Abuja Property Development Company, APDC, wishes her esteemed customers and clients a joyous Christmas. We appreciate your continued trust in our services and look forward to another year of mutual growth and success. May your holidays be filled with joy, happiness, and prosperity. We are poised to deliver top quality construction, real estate, and facilities management for the satisfaction of our customers in the coming year. Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2025. Signed, Management, Abuja Property Development Company, APDC. APDC, still creating value.
Your number one radio experience you can count on. Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
We are still talking Warri Refinery, a boost to Nigeria's economy, as well as looking into major events, policies, happenings that also shaped, Nigeria's political space, especially in 2024, a continuation from yesterday as we had that discourse. But today, of course, we have our guest in the person of Dr. Yusho Aliyu, who is a professional economist and policy management member and a public affairs analyst. As we're still looking at these issues, it's the 31st day in the month of December of 2024. A few hours from now, we'll be looking at 2025. Hence, there is a need to look at the economy in itself and look at those trying times that we went through in 2024, the policies that came forth, the borrowings, the spendings, the monies looted, as well as the innovations, that also went down in 2024. Maybe, just maybe, as we look into it, we are able to also not throw caution to the wind, but also look into these issues and see from where we can learn so as not to have a 2025 that is cumbersome, or a 2025 that is only poverty ridden, a 2025 that is riddled with little opportunities for employment, for food sustainability, for food security, for the security of Nigerians and all of that, right? But you want to add your voice into this. What do you think about 2025 coming up in a matter of few hours from now, in terms of the economy, in terms of developmental strides and everything? You can as well put your voice out there and call us out and speak to us. Let us know your thoughts. 0907-353-0044 is that number to call. The other number would be 0908-766-8888, and the WhatsApp portal number is 0909-705-4450. Quite a number of persons believe that the political momentum, especially in terms of political economics, that went down in 2024, if revisited in 2025, might yield some interest, some interesting development. Do you agree with such thoughts?
So say.
You agree
that
okay. it will work
yes,
for 2025?
I'm a positive economic thinker. We believe that economic is like a human system.
Right.
When somebody's father is sick and is taken to hospital, there must be prescription. But the right prescription must be made. That is exactly what happens to an economy. The right prescriptions that is required for monetary policy, for fiscal policy, for other economic policies is required to put this economy in order. And that is why the first thing to be done, once you are to be attended for any injection in hospital, they will make sure that have you eaten. So that same scenario, people must eat. For any economic policy to be successful, people must have food on their table. That should be the first thing in any arrangement.
But have we gone through any economic diagnosis? Because if we
yes, of course, that is what we have been doing for the past 15 years.
Okay,
do you understand? And or whatever we prescribe, and we now told them that this is the right thing to be done. They took it for granted, and at the end of the day, we come back and sit, and the entire nation is hearing us, and it's judging our own submission. It's not a rocket science. You as individual household that doesn't have income cannot be the same with an individual that has an income. Nigeria has income, and that income must be used properly. If it is not used properly, you cannot put a shelf, you cannot put a roof over your for your family to have a shelter. And that is why the United Nations Human Capital Development Index always is emphasizing provision of education, food, education, health. Food, education, health. It is when you now solve this problem that you now get all the potential out. You can now, it is when you put little money for security. When I was giving my insight on 2025 budget, as far as 47.9 trillion is concerned, I mentioned that, please, let us go back to elementary economics. When you go back to elementary economics, you go to production possibility frontier, or for production possibility frontier. That's PPF. In production possibility frontier is always trying to tell you that how do you allocate resources of a state. If you allocate more to butter, it means civilians will have better food to eat. If you allocate more to military gadget, then it means civilians will not have much to consume, because the entire focus of your own expenditure as per your income is channeled to attend to military equipment. And that has been the trend for Nigeria for 4 years. And the best way to do it, to make people to understand that they belong to the system, is for them to have food to eat. You cannot have IDP camps. You cannot have people displaced. You cannot have farmers displaced. And you expect that your agri policy, even when you create special economic zone, this is a cassava production zone, produce cassava for medicine industry, produce cassava for food industry, produce cassava for other subsidiary industry. You finish that one, you go to palm oil. Produce palm oil for medicine, produce palm oil for consumption, palm oil for pharmaceutical, and so and so and so. But so in whatever product,
Doctor, some would want to halt you there, and say that even though food is important, right? Paying attention to security is also very important.
That is what I am trying to portray to you, that once you observed, it's a situation where you spend as a household, you spend all your money on alcohol. And then with the family that spend all his money in educating his student, he is poor because his students are going to school. You are poor because you are going to be a palo. You are to be challenged because you have the opportunity of sending your children to school. So we have an advantage to keep our people well fed, because we have the land, we have the arable land, we have the ministries, we have the potentials, we have the banks, we have the experts, and we have. So there is no need for us to even think that we cannot produce what to eat. But in the meantime, if you don't have what to eat, what do you do? What do you do as a nation? If your child is not educated and you don't have a BSc degree to teach him, where are you taking him? You take him to school. You cannot say, because I have potential to be a teacher to my son will graduate in my house. Who told you that your son will graduate even if you are a professor and you certified your son? Who told you that he's going to be employed? Who told you that?
That's the point, because I was going to come there.
Yeah.
Is education tantamount to a better economy for a nation?
Yes, a literate society.
But are we seeing that, turn in its numbers for the Nigerian economy for 2024?
Yes.
Are we seeing education work
No. From the provisions of 2025 budget of the federal,
yes,
and also the attempt of state government, we have none of us has attained the basic requirement of United Nations standard. But all we are saying here is that there should be a sustained effort, there should be a sustained program policy that will now bring that to the constituencies of every citizen that is within Nigerian boundary. And also, let me clarify this. If you continue to invest in security, are you getting it? And then you allow people to be vulnerable. Do you understand? Do you still face the vicious cycle of that commitment? Many areas that are prone to insecurity in northern Nigeria are poverty-stricken communities. You cannot go to Uguta. You cannot those that are familiar with terms, you cannot go to Uguta town in Imo State and said where you have, in every family you have a professor. In every family you have a professor, and you have a very literate society and you now go and say that you are going to indoctrinate them and give them gun, when they have the potential of education and they know the value of education and they have seen how education has assisted them to be what they are nationally and internationally. Professor Inaji, who was in charge of nuclear of the United States, look at Abia State. They are celebrating light. What brought that capacity is education and sustainability and the vision of the leaders to call the expert. Call those who have nationhood at heart. Don't call those who are come to share the national cake. That's where we are getting it wrong. We always try to compensate political class who have spent their money and they are coming to make money. And there is no way that money will go to the society's development. It will go to their pocket, and that is why you find our own system is not growing. It's always going back, because we insisted that we have to compensate our political people who have invested. And a good example where you understand that strategy, it will not work of Nigeria. You take Rwanda as a case study. Today, Rwanda, a farmer in Rwanda cannot be compared with a peasant farmer in Nigeria. A Rwandan farmer knows when to get his input, how to get his input, and when also to set his product at an international competitive price. And they are all living happily, and they are enjoying their investment. They are secured.
Can that be replicated here? What then are the factors holding us back?
The factors is understanding. First of all, I always call that we must know the head count of our people.
Okay.
Not mind it. It is all you know the geographical location, the demographical structure of your own population. Then you now plan for education, you plan for health, and you plan for investment. And not only that, the investment banks. You need to have a stable currency. So a lot of policy adjustment from monetary and fiscal, like I told you. But expert has to sit down and they look at the priorities. I was so happy past administration when Professor Yemi Oshibanjo came out with zero-based budget, which is a budget of priority. That budget of priority, zero-based budget, was developed by Mr. Peter Peer, who was an accountant, who assisted his firm to grow, because he now choose the priorities where investment should be, what type of product to produce, what, when, and how. And that is a fundamental issue regarding what is called successful economic policies, knowing what, when, and how. Knowing what, when, and how. And if you don't know what, when, and how, that is how you now come and close your border when it is not necessary to close border. This is time that you come to now emphasize on inviting foreigners to come so that your economy can grow, and you refuse to give the priority to the existing one on ground. These are some of the things that you need to understand and do it at the right time.
We saw in the dailies this morning, currency in circulation hits 4.8 trillion naira amidst cash squeeze. We've seen that. We have also seen the 2025 budget, where 20 MDAs are to spend 14.3 billion naira on computers. Quite a number of people have come, to even saying that, look, how then do we grow if continuously every year we do the copy and paste and we put it in the budget and all of that? We're refurbishing what has no need to be refurbished and all of that. In fact, Justice Ministry strips alone vehicles to gulp about 2 billion naira. And experts and CSOs, civil society organizations right there, are asking the National Assembly to scrutinize the proposals. I mean, if we entered 2025 like this, is this a better outlook for us?
It's not a better outlook. Now, all this spending, assuming all the computers are produced in Nigeria, that brought about the issue of diversification. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You now, the servicing, the production, the servicing, you make it much easier. The money will be circulating. 4.8 trillion that you said as cash, liquidity within. And that is how I always tell central bank for a very long time. Look, if you are aware that liquidity is up to 4.8, then why are you increasing MPR to stop liquidity from going out?
Right.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I get that.
The cash is already out of the system, and you are putting MPR to stop it from going out. And that has been my argument. And that is what brought even the CBN to reconsider the cashless policy, the redesigning policy, so that the money will come to the vault of the bank.
Is it coming?
How can it come when you are operating 774 local government, 36 state, and the FCT, and many areas? What we believe in with Nigeria is a cash-based economy. In all our market, I will understand cash presence before discharge of any transaction. You cannot help it out. How can you succeed when the point of sale, you have made it a point of cash? And at any point in time, if you are looking for cash, give this center, POS center, they will give you the cash. They know where to go and get the cash, and they give you. Even with the context that you have limited the withdrawal from the banks to 20,000 per day, this and this per day, this and this per day. No, we need so many interventions to make sure that, first, if you understand that liquidity is too much in the economy, now, if area market can do POS, that is point of sales, to transact business, it may not happen in Sabon Birni, in Gusau, where bandits have taken over everything. How can you sustain a situation? This 4.8 trillion, let me tell you, from the recent survey, statistics released by Bureau of Statistics, above 2 trillion has been collected by banditry. 2.6 trillion. This is cash. This is liquidity. This is not POS. So it's enough for us to know where the cash are located, and it is also best known to us to know how we can contend this situation.
All right, let's take a couple of messages right now and then call it close. Good morning, Daniel. This one says, good morning to you too. I greet your guest. I'm in Nasarawa State. The refineries can resurrect. All the refineries can resurrect. Back to life is good. Nigerians are not just interested in the refineries working, not just availability, but affordability. As long as the pump price is high, every other goods, including food items, will continue to be high. Talking about putting a refinery near Jigawa State, I'm worried about the unending and dangerous insecurity in the north. The refinery workers could get kidnapped. The refinery facilities could be under constant attacks by Boko Haram fighters who are still very active in the north. Taken Bihundu sharing his thoughts and concerns right there. And we've got this one coming from Yunusa Dantani Ibrahim. Good morning, gentle UD. Good morning to the guest in the studio. It says, I'm Yunusa Dantani Ibrahim from Abaji. The guest has said it all. I said this some times ago that we don't have enough food in the country due to some challenges. Taking effective of diversification into agriculture is very significant. It is a tunnel that can help to drop down the price of food items. Sharing palliatives is insignificant because it's considered as a specific achievement, not general achievement. In line with the population in the country, not everyone will get a palliative. Also, the oil sector should be effectively diversified to drop down the fuel pump price. At this point, federal government should make sure agriculture is given much priority in 2025. Other refineries should also be put in place. I think with all of these, our economy will gradually grow to some extent, which is probably to reduce the hardship on Nigerians. Thanks, he says, from Yunusa Dantani Ibrahim. Thank you so much. Austin Ogenemano right there says, budgeting for computers every year by the government is a waste of resources. That's what he says. Thank you, far too kind. I mean, wish we could go further, but I want to say a big thank you to you. You already said that with the outlook so far,